A conversation with God on failure, fear, and grace. You sit in quiet reflection, and in the stillness, a familiar presence fills the space around you. It's comforting, yet it stirs something deep within. You close your eyes and begin to speak, but it's more like a thought, an internal dialogue with someone who knows you better than you know yourself. God, why do I fear failure so much? Why does every mistake feel like it's the end of the road? I've been told so many times that messing up means I'm not good enough.
My child, do you think I see you as just a sum of your successes and failures?
Honestly, sometimes it feels that way. I mean, the world does. Everyone's always watching, judging. It's like one wrong move and they'll never see you the same again.
You live in a world that is quick to measure worth by accomplishments, yet I've never counted your worth that way. For though the righteous fall 7 times, they rise again. Proverbs 24 verse 16. You've heard this before. Why do you think I've spoken those words to you?
I think maybe it's because you know we're going to fall, that you expect us to stumble.
Exactly. I created you, and I know your strengths, but I also know your weaknesses. I know that failure will come. The falling isn't what I'm concerned with. What I care about is how you rise, how you let me help you rise. Every time you fall, I'm right there, holding out my hand, waiting for you to reach for me.
But sometimes the shame, the guilt is so heavy. It's hard to believe you're still there, that you still care.
Why do you think shame has so much power over you?
I guess it's because I've been taught to think that mistakes define me. It's like, if I mess up, I'm a failure. And maybe, deep down, I worry that you see me that way too. Do you?
Oh, how far from the truth that is. You are my creation, made in my image, and I love you beyond your flaws. What you've done does not define who you are. Your mistakes, your failures, they are part of your journey, but they are not your identity. Your worth is found in me, and my love for you is constant, unchanging. When you fall, I don't look at the ground you've hit, I look at the heart that still beats with potential and hope.
But God, when I fall, it feels like I've failed you too. That maybe I've let you down.
Let me tell you something, and I want you to hold on to this. You cannot disappoint me. I know your heart. I know your struggles and your desires, and I know that life isn't easy. If anything, I am proud of you each time you choose to get back up. Every time you seek me, even when you feel unworthy, I see you growing. I see you becoming the person I've always intended you to be.
But how do I let go of this fear? This constant anxiety that I'm going to mess everything up?
It starts with trust. Trust that my grace is greater than your fear. Trust that I am not keeping score of your missteps but watching how you rise. Fear tells you to avoid failure at all costs, but faith tells you that failure is just another opportunity for growth. When you fail, you don't fall out of my hands, you fall deeper into my grace.
So, when I stumble, you're saying you're right there with me? Even when it's my fault?
Especially when it's your fault. I never said this journey would be without difficulty. But I did promise that I would walk it with you. Think of Peter, walking on water. He started to sink when fear overtook him. But what did I do? I reached out. I didn't stand by and let him drown. And I won't let you drown either. My hand is always extended, even when you've caused the waves.
It's just hard, God. Every failure feels so final. Like if I fall again, I won't be able to rise.
That's why you're not meant to do it alone. You're not meant to carry that burden by yourself. Come to me when you're weary, when the weight of failure feels too heavy. I will give you rest. And remember, rising isn't just about getting back on your feet, it's about coming back to me. Let me carry some of that load for you.
How do I know when I've truly risen? What does that even look like?
Rising isn't about being perfect or never falling again. It's about learning, growing, and trusting. Each time you rise, you become a little more resilient, a little more aware of my presence in your life. Rising means allowing me to work through your failures to bring you closer to your purpose. Sometimes rising looks like forgiveness, sometimes it looks like surrender. And sometimes, it looks like you taking the next step, even when you're still unsure.
And you're not angry when I keep stumbling? When it takes me so long to learn?
Oh, my child, my patience with you is endless. You see your journey in moments, but I see it in its entirety. I'm not measuring how long it takes you to learn, I'm watching your heart grow, your spirit strengthen. Each time you fall and come back to me, we are building something together, something eternal.
I guess I never thought about it that way. That failure could be part of the process. That you're using even my mistakes to shape me.
Always. Your story isn't written in success or failure alone. It's written in grace, in the moments where you fall and rise again. Failure doesn't define you, I do. So next time you stumble, don't be so quick to condemn yourself. Instead, ask me, what can we learn from this? How can we grow?
I'll try. I'll try to see things from your perspective next time. And I'll try to trust that you're always there, even in the falling.
I'm always here, child. Always.
You sit in the silence, and it's no longer a silence that feels heavy. It's filled with the presence of grace. It's a silence that reminds you that your worth isn't tied to your mistakes, but to the one who lifts you up every time you fall. And you feel peace, knowing that no matter how many times you stumble, you'll always be helped to rise again. Reflective questions. How often do you let a single mistake cloud your entire journey? What areas of your life have you allowed fear of failure to hold you back? How can you begin to see failure as a stepping stone rather than a stumbling block? Are you open to letting God reshape your perspective on mistakes? Share your experiences below. You might just inspire someone else on their journey. Let's rise together.